Welcome to my little sketchbook tour of Portugal. I've just been away for a couple of weeks. I started off in Oyao for a week on a retreat for artists, and then the second week I did some travelling. So I'll take you through it and you'll see what I've been up to. So first sketches come from the train. I took a couple of photos and I merged them together. There's this guy sitting down. This guy looked really depressed, but I don't think he was. I think that's just how he was sitting. I made this guy look more like a Mexican than he was. But I really liked the shadows of the railings, and so I did this on the plane actually. This one I also did on the plane over. This was with a blue Muji pen, and the shading you see here in blue is a liquid watercolour. That is, I put in my water brush pen, my water brush, and it was like 75 concentrated, so you can pass over it a couple of times if you want darker areas, and you can blend it out again with lighter, with more water. But brilliant for things like being on a plane, because you don't have much of an opportunity to get out a water thing and use your dirty water. So this was a quick, very quick sketch that I did in the hotel from my bedroom, and it's a beautiful hotel with a swimming pool, and you got the white and tiled buildings behind. Then in the morning we popped out, and the challenge was to do little 20-minute sketches. So that was a sketch nearby the church, and we did another one just down the road. I was trying to test out as many different materials as I could during this little session, because I've got so many things in my pencil case and I barely remember what they do. So this was with a black brush pen, and I was able to, you can get quite thin lines and thick lines, and you can water it down, and it's water soluble, so some of those lines can create shading. Had a go with my orange, it wasn't watercolour pencil, it was just a pencil. That was a facing. Did a quick sketch of a boat. Oh, I'm jumping ahead. This the very, very quick sketch of the bird of paradise trees that are right next to the swimming pool. I love them. They're such interesting shapes. I've taken loads of pictures, so I'm going to do some larger ones because I think they look great. This was a coloured version of my orange version, and this is Graham, who was taking us on the retreat, and he always used to stand with his hand in his pocket. Very casual artist. On the beach after lunch, this is in a little island called Culatra, where we took a ferry over. I went swimming with a lovely lady called Pauline, and we swam, and I really wanted to paint, but there was nothing really interesting on the beach, so I did some beach combing and found some really lovely shells and created a bit of a still life and painted on the beach. On the way back, I did a little scene on one of the streets. They have beautiful bougainvillea, and this is a lovely building, really lovely. Next day we tackled a market scene, which was chaotic, but I really loved doing this scene, and I'd used it as a continuous line study. So I just kept the pen on, and you can be as sketchy as you want. If it's in the wrong place, it doesn't matter. Carry on with your sketch, and you just put another line in the correct place. So loved doing that one. This was another very quick sketch I did in the market, focusing on one table in particular. That was with that brush pen, the black brush pen that I used. I really liked doing interesting edges, so took that across and did the interesting edges on that side too. And this was from the Culatra, the scene that we went to, the island that we went to the previous day. This is Una, one of the other artists. Did a quick sketch of her on the way, right just before we headed off to get some dinner. Following day we did some sketching outside on the main street, there's a couple of like avenues of tree-lined streets, and it was really lovely to look at the church. There's a stork church here. I call it stork church. There's a stork. I love the stork. More on the stork later. Stork church. So that was just some little sketches. I'm very drawn to like derelict buildings and things like that. This is a quick sketch of just outside the park, and again I'm just playing around with different materials that I've got and having a go and to see what sky effects I can do. Did another page of quick sketching of people. This is Liz, one of the other artists on the retreat. It was just before breakfast, so only 5 minutes or so each, and very quick sketch of the looking up one of the streets. So this was more of a pen and wash effect. And continuing on with pen and wash, did this one looking the other side, and then turned around and painted a couple of the other artists as well. Then that was the end of that first week, and then I headed off on my own to Tivera. I loved Tivera. I think Tivera might have been one of my favourite places. Lots of great things to paint and draw around there. It's a little bit busier and a bit more chaotic, so I think staying in Oyao is great, but I think with I'm going to actually organise a retreat to Oyao, and I'm hoping that we get a trip to Tivera. I painted this. It's very difficult to find food as a vegetarian if you don't eat meat and fish. So I eventually found a pizza place that had pineapple, and like it's very frowned upon to have pineapple on your pizza if you are in Italy. This one had pineapple, and banana. That's what it just amused me. But I was just practicing drawing the people on the other side of the street. Didn't get to finish this one as one of these umbrellas lifted off in the wind. It got so windy, and they were running after the umbrella in the street, and as a result the umbrella that I was under got put down because they were worried about that shooting off. It's a very quick study. The river is here, and this was the river wall, and up here is like the looking over to Tivera. I wanted to do some quick shading because I didn't have a lot of time, so I used the water brush that had been filled with the blue liquid watercolour to add some quick shading. Jury's out on that one, I'm not sure. This one I didn't get time to finish. That was another pizza place I went to. Basically, pizza was one of the main things I could eat over there as a veggie, so I started doing that. The serving is so quick, so I started, and then within 5 minutes the pizza was out, and there was not really much of an opportunity to finish the sketch, so all very, very quick. Then headed over to Villa Real de Santo Antonio. They don't pronounce Real like Real, they pronounce it like Real. So I headed there, stayed a couple of nights in a place there, and the first day that I had free time I headed to Ayamonte, which is actually in Spain. So you walk into the main town, get a ferry across, and it's a 10-minute ferry, and it started raining on the ferry, so I ran because I only had like a little shawl. I ran to the closest bar that had a seat, and I took refuge there, and I did this little sketch of the church. It's a nice little place to stop actually. And on the way back I did a quick sketch on the ferry whilst we were waiting for it to head back, and there was a little girl that was watching me do the painting. I like it. Little kids like watch. I hope it inspires them to do their own painting. Got back to Villa Real de Santo Antonio, and they had a market there, so I did another quick market scene. My heart wasn't really in it because I was hungry, so did this quick sketch, and then went off to try and find something to eat. There was like a little carousel here that was quite fun to try and capture. And then I headed back to Faro. for 3 nights. First night, or the first day when I arrived, I'd hoped to get into the hotel straight away where I was staying, the accommodation, but I couldn't. They, for whatever reason, the key wasn't working. So I went to a place called La Forchetta. Can you understand? Do you get the sense that I'm much more comfortable in Italian places? So La Forchetta was another pizza place. I had some pasta there though. It was my first pasta of the holiday. And just sketched whoever was in front of me. But again, they were so quick coming out with meals. Didn't get much time for this. This was actually, I painted on the plane on the way back because I'd sketched it out but didn't have time to actually paint it when I was actually there. So it's only a quick one. But they had storks on all of the big tall buildings. And I loved it. They were so huge and interesting looking. And so on this church, they had like 4 little bits like this sticking out. And there must have been about 8, I reckon, storks. Now, poor Pauline and Kate, who I sketched here, that was a plain effort as well. Didn't really get time to finish them. But they were lovely girls. Had a great time with them. And yeah, one time, at some point I'll do them more justice than a quick plain sketch. This was a place in Faro, in the old town. I sat under the arch, and this was like the umbrella a bit from the restaurant here, and this was through the arch. Again, didn't have a lot of time because the meal came out. But I do love painting in restaurants because you don't feel lonely if you are a solo traveller. You just get on, do some painting, and then you're a bit absorbed to think about anything else. Now, good luck trying to guess what this one is. The following day, I went to a cave called begins with B. Benagil Caves, and I took a bus to Albufera, I think it was. And then I got the boat to these caves, and when we went dolphin hunting was very unsuccessful with no dolphins, but the caves were beautiful. So I was really happy I got to see some the caves. And there's like light coming, so that's the front bit of the cave, and there was light coming through there. Really, I just like the colours. And the sea was beautiful. So I just did a quick sketch on the way back on the plane. So I've got some pictures of me sketching out and about using my water brush pen. I might formulate that into a bit of a step-by-step at some point. So anyway, thank you for joining me on my sketchbook tour. If anyone's interested, this book has 38 pages and it was less than £5. Anna and Clara's Sostrine Green book it is. Never heard of them before, but I got them from Temu. It's 230 GSM, and it was good. Takes brushes, washes well, and yeah. So I shall finish the rest of that book off when I am in Italy next month, and yeah, go from there, I think. Thanks very much for joining me. If you've got any questions about my Portugal trip or how I did any of the sketches, then just let me know. Bye.